All right, guys, here we are back for stage 5 of the Gator build. We are at the finish line. A couple small finishing touches here for today's video. Then we're gonna get to the big unveiling at our car show. And then we're gonna take this thing for its maiden voyage off-road at Rouch Creek. And I cannot wait to finally test out the capabilities here of this bad machine. We just finished up installing the seats, Joe and I. Let's check these things out. A subtle change for the interior, but something that, again, I think sets this thing apart from the other Broncos on the road. We got a nice little embroidery here, thanks to our friends at Mano's Material Creation. Really nice. We got rid of the Bronco embossment. We actually used the same factory material as the backing. The orange matches the factory orange piping or threading perfectly in the seats. While we're in the interior, rough country, they really hooked us up back in stage 4 with all of our camping stuff. They also threw in a set of their floor liners for the front and rear. Yes, we have the rubber floors in this thing, but it's nice to have another layer of protection so you don't have to just pull those drain plugs right away and start hosing things out. You can at least take out the floor mats first and then hose it out. So we did a couple other small things around the Gator here, so let's check those out next. All right, guys, a couple small parts, and then a bigger part I do want to talk about as well. First up, an antenna. Yes, I know it's silly, but you know what? The factory antenna is a little big, kind of would have interfered with our snorkel a bit. So we tossed on the RedRock Off-Road option. It's got some flex to it here. If we catch it on a limb, it's not going to snap off on us, and it just looks a little cleaner, to be honest. Also from RedRock, we got tail light covers in the back. They're smoke tail light covers. It's gonna offer some protection for one from scratches and things like that, but more importantly, it's gonna flow nicely with our Morimoto headlights up front. Kind of that smoked out or blacked out look, just looks really sharp. Those are two smaller parts. A bigger part that we also installed that I wanna talk about right now is down below. You guys will see some shots of it. It's the BroncBuster tie rod brace set. This is a notorious weak spot for the Bronco in general, the factory tie rods. They are extremely puny, and it's almost a sin that they put them on from the factory. Now, once you start throwing big, heavy 37s on this thing, bouncing it around on rocks, off-road on the trail, those are usually the first thing to snap, and at that point, it's gonna absolutely ruin your day. You're gonna have to get a tow unless you do a trail fix. So, to help prevent a future owner of the Gator from having a really rough day out on the trail, we threw those on for some added insurance. 6061 billet aluminum, and it acts like a sleeve or a splint. So it's really nice to have that in place as sort of a preventative measure, if you will, and hopefully keep this thing running on the trails long and strong. And with that, guys, the Gator build is a wrap. Big thanks to our boy Smitty in our in-house vinyl department. We wanted to give this thing obviously a unique name with the Gator, which we did. However, we also wanted to stay true to the Bronco in regards to the badge. Now, this was a Badlands, it had a unique badge on it, but not quite as unique as this. Now, this is certainly a one-off vehicle thanks to our unique Gator badging. Guys, this thing really came together. Now it's time to unveil this thing to the world at our Turn 5 Charity Auto Show. Thanks for coming to the Turn 5 Charity Auto Show. We're doing something where we're building a Bronco to give away. So we're calling it the Gator. You guys ready to see this thing? 3, 2, 1. All right, there it is. So there you go. We just unveiled the Gator here at the Turn 5 Charity Auto Show. I mean, if the crowd is any indication, this thing is a big hit. However, there's one problem. It's a little too clean, so let's go fix that. All right, guys, so we're obviously out of the car show where it was really nice and pretty. Now we're at Rouch Creek, our local off-road park here in Pennsylvania, to see if we can't get things a little bit dirty. Now, this is kind of our maiden voyage off-road, so just want to see how she performs. We don't want to do anything crazy or stupid that might damage this for the future owner, but we also got to do some testing, some durability testing, if you will. So we'll be handling some light trails, a couple little light rock crawls, and just see how she does. But right now we just basically got it in 4 high, rear locker is on, and you know, it's just kind of crawling through this stuff, as you might imagine with these big 37s. Icon 4 inches of lift doing its thing. Just swallows up these rocks like nothing. So the sway bar disconnected. Coming down off that rock. Rear tire, here we go. Just like butter, man. I tell you, that Icon suspension, for as rocky as it is out here, really soaking up some of these rocks. Of course, we got our big Mickey Thompson Baja Boss 37s aired down to about, let's say 18 pounds or so, 20 pounds. But just, you know, no issues at all crawling through some of these smaller rocks. A little bit of a shelf here that we're gonna drop down. No problem here, guys. Well, they always say you gotta crawl before you walk, right? And I'd say that was a nice, easy crawl for us to kind of break in the Gator, if you will. But let's see what Rouch Creek has to offer. All right, guys, so we kind of crawled a bit there first, but I see another little obstacle we can drop into now. And a little climb over there, too. Looks pretty steep from here, so we'll see how we do. Go ahead and get straight. And this one looks like it's gonna require every bit of the old front locker here. All right, we'll give it a shot. Here we go. Well, we made it. We're just a little stuck. That's why we got rock sliders on this thing. Backing her down. Oh, we gave it the old college try. Our first kind of real climb here. The climb was not the issue. However, we did get a little bit high centered. Unfortunately, the Icon lift, the 37s, not quite enough clearance to get up and around this obstacle, but the climb was no problem at all. So that makes me feel a little bit better. We're gonna see if we can go find something as steep, if not steeper, with maybe a little bit smoother of a departure. So, but for the first real test, again, the armor, that's why it's there. We used it, and I'm really happy with how this thing's climbing. So we did some slower crawl trails, we did some smaller climbs, some bigger climbs. Kind of dropping into something now, getting smacked in the face by a tree. So we're actually gonna go in, hang a hard right here. Again, my man Joe's up there spotting me. God bless his heart. Coming up the hill bit here. All right, so we're gonna get a tire up here on the rock, coming down. Okay, got the right side up, we're hooking it left. There we go. And so here's our next climb into like a little backwoods trail. My man Joe knows what's up, so he says we got it, we got it. The Gator definitely got it. This thing gives no dams. Again, just rear locker, 4 high, no front locker at this point. Doesn't need it, honestly, guys. Kind of cutting back into the woods here. This is awesome. For you guys out west, you guys have the beauty of the desert, Moab, all that good stuff. Out east here, we got a lot of trees, rocks, mountains, things like that. So definitely beautiful, but in its own way. All right, nice and smooth. There it is, I see it.
Yeah, come to me. Come right to me. Yep, you're good. You're good. Start bringing it left. All right, this is where we got to be careful because you're leaning hard that way. Come on, back up real quick. Real quick. I got you. Straighten your wheel a little bit. There you go. You're good. Oh boy.
It's weird, you always walk things and it's like, that's no big deal. And then you actually get in the car or the truck or the Bronco and you do it. And you know, it wasn't that it was terribly steep, but we were just at a weird angle and we didn't want to peel off that brand new rough country tent on the top. So thanks to Joe, we're on to our next obstacle. So I have to admit, a little disappointed with that earlier obstacle where we got a little high centered. It was a steep hill. It was just 4-door problems, right? Too long of a wheelbase. Well, we found something steeper with a little easier of a descent, or at least a little easier of a breakover angle. So we're ready to rock. We got 4 low, lockers on, stay bar disconnect. Let's give it a shot, see how we do. It looks pretty steep, but hey, you don't know until you try it, right? Oh, that was easy. Surprisingly easier than I thought it would be. Gotta love this thing, man. It's a beast. Well, guys, we made it up that hill, maybe a little too easily. I'm not complaining, but what comes up must go down. Now we gotta descend this thing, and it's kind of loose gravel, maybe a little bit of a pucker factor here. We're gonna try out our trail control, let the vehicle do the work, and see how she goes. So, let's go. Yeah, we got the trail control doing its thing. I'm helping it a little bit. Yeah, no problem here. Piece of cake. Yeah, trail control is doing its thing. Look, Ma, no feet. Trail control is doing its thing. You can actually hear the brakes working. You hear that? Kind of sweet. That was easy. All right, well, we know the Gator can crawl, but can it run? Let's find out. Baja mode engaged. All right. That was awesome. This thing is so smooth at like 60 on this trail, like it's nothing. These icons are doing their thing. Power stops work pretty good too. That was fun. As well, we're cruising the trails here at Rouch Creek. We've seen some rocks, seen some high speed stuff. Looks like we finally encountered a little bit of water, so don't know how deep it is. We kind of gave it the eyeball check, but it's the Gator, man. We got to get her wet, so let's do it. No problem, no problem. Well, guys, that's gonna wrap us up here from Rouch Creek. We had an absolutely unbelievable day out on the trails with the Gator. Listen, man, this thing was a monster, right? We're not surprised. We built this thing from the ground up using nothing but awesome parts from all of our friends. It was just an epic build, and it really showed out here today. This thing was unfazed by everything we threw at it, and somebody is gonna be very, very happy to take this thing home. Guys, you should know how to win this thing by now. I've told you 100 times, but if not, I'm gonna tell you one more time. For every $1 you spend at ExtremeTerrain.com, you get an entry for the Gator. We're gonna give this thing away on Halloween, October 31st, so get those entries in while you can. We got fresh logs in the fire pit, cold beers in the cooler. You know what's gonna happen next. So again, we hope you enjoyed the build. I know I sure did. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. But in the meantime, I'm Justin. Thanks for watching. And remember, for all things Bronco, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.